one big thing.
So with the playoffs now done, the next big event on the sporting calendar, the U.S. Open at Erin Hills in Wisconsin. Having never set foot on the property, I know nothing of it other than what I can see. It's gorgeous to look at, even though it hardly looks like a U.S. Open track. It's far more linksy, a bit claustrophobic on tee boxes, but huge fairways are out there. Like Chambers Bay in Washington State a couple of years ago, it's basically a brand new course, just over a decade old. A Golf Channel buddy told me it's beautiful, but without trees or water, it might not translate as well on TV as it truly is. What most interests me, though, is what players think. So I went off the record with them, told them let it fly, whatever you got, good or bad. The only beef I encountered was that players think it's a brutal walk because the property is absolutely enormous. The rough we'll get to shortly. Nobody said they hated anything about the course, quite the contrary. In fact, the word fair was used a lot, which is really good news because the USGA can take quite a bit of artistic license when it comes to course setup, which is really just a polite way of saying they care so much about par being the winning score, they often go out of their way to artificially protect it. They insist, though, they don't do that. We know better. That's what raised so many eyebrows when the USGA decided on Tuesday to cut back the dense fescue that lines the fairway. Many wondered how much posts on social media like these might have had to do with that.
Let me show you what we're dealing with this week. You got 3 to 4 yards of rough, maybe 5 at the most, and then you got fescue. I'm gonna throw a ball in there. Literally, I threw it literally 3 yards. Now, you're lucky if you find your ball. Now, I just moved grass and I found it. I'm gonna play out of here. It's like a hazard. Every hole we got this. Every hole.
No chance.
Nope, didn't move. Move the foot. Now I can't find it.
Just off the edge of the fairway. I found it.
Now, clearly, if you can hide a human in the rough, it's deep. But as Rory McIlroy pointed out Tuesday, there is plenty of fairway to work with.
I mean, like, we have 60 yards from left line to right line. Like, you've got 156 of the best players in the world here. If we can't hit it within that avenue, you may as well pack your bags and go home. Like, I don't get... These are the widest fairways we've ever played in a US Open. And even the first and second cut, it's another 10 yards on top of that. You know, so if you've got 50 or 60 yards to hit into and you're complaining about the fescue that's wider than that, I mean, I don't think that's an issue. I get that it's thick and whatever, but I mean, it's a hazard. I mean, if you put red lines just right along that, people wouldn't complain. It's a hazard and you would go and, you know, so I don't know. It's the U.S. Open. It's supposed to be a tough test, and if guys can't put it in play within a 50-yard zone, it's I don't think they've got much to complain about.
On top of those ample fairways, there's been some heavy rains that have softened the course, and perhaps some more before the event starts. As a result, every player I spoke with is predicting something under par winning, a red score, in other words. But nobody seems to know if a couple under is what it will take or more. It's the U.S. Open. It's meant to be difficult. Early this week, the difficulty is in figuring out what type of test Erin Hills will be.